Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine with Jasmine Soiree, and I have a special guest in my presence, legendary comedian, actor, producer, writer, Mr. Joe Torry. Let's bring it back to the beginning. What was your household like growing up? Because your brother is also an actor, comedian, producer. Yes.
My brother? I got a brother? Oh, God, yeah. No, we always messes.
I cannot. But yeah, I just want to know, what was the dinner table like?
Just like this.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my mother and father held court. They're the real comedians. They was going back and forth at each other.
Okay.
So much with their little rhythm. And, you know, father's military, 2 tours of Vietnam. He would have been 87 this year, you know what I'm saying? He died when he was 81, it's about 6 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
But no, he was ready for him to go. He's really about 150.
It was
2 tours of Vietnam, born in 1933. He done seen everything. Depression, you know, hangings, you know, all that. I mean, he just seen the whole whatever. But to see a black man be president twice, you know, that was like the crescendo of his life, because he didn't come from that. And it was like, wow, he died with a smile on his face, like, and all 6 of his kids are very successful. So growing up in that household with a mom who taught school for 40 years, so education and discipline was—
That's your background.
You know, yeah, that's my foundation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I had it, because you need that in life. You need consistency, you need education, you need a foundation, you need some type of discipline. And it was beaten, kicked, and snapped and slapped into you, because you know, back then, you know, that's, you know, wasn't no timeouts.
No,
timeout
no
was like, timeout for whooping on you, whooping your
Right.
ass. That's what the timeout was. But couldn't go over in the corner and figure it out. But all those are jokes, and I think me being a military brat, I just have a plethora of just material from growing up in New York, Jamaica, Queens. Went to PS-35, PS-118, you know, born in Virginia, you know what I'm saying, Fort Eustis. So I'm kind of, you know, all my Virginia people, from Mike Vick to Trey Songz and late great Moses Malone to, who else? I'm missing some people. Allen Iverson, Bubba Chuck, all of them from Virginia.
Right.
So I have a sort of like eclectic or a sort of organic type of relationship just with everybody from New York, because I kind of lived there when I was growing up. DC, lived there a little bit, but St. Louis is where I stamped as my hometown.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, just having all that in the back of your mind and all that awareness, you know, kind of gave me my comedy timing and I guess, you know, know-withal, because I didn't have to wonder what the South or what the East Coast or the West, and I've been there. And, you know, that's what kind of gave me, you know, my powers, and that's what I reach from all the time.
So when did you know that you had that gift and you wanted to pursue it?
Well, I don't think it's a gift. I don't think you believe it's a gift at first. You just want to emulate something. And as a kid, when I was a kid watching Sammy Davis Jr. on TV, because he was the only black man in the 60s, 70s at that time. I was born in 65. Between him and Nat King Cole, but Sammy was on everybody's show. And all the white people shows back in the day, because black people didn't have shows. And the 3 channels, they only had 3 channels, so you like, whoa. So I was like, I want to get inside that TV, and I want to be as dynamic as that cat, the real true entertainer who could dance, sing, act, perfect. He could hold his own with white people.
Right.
And when I used to read his stories about, man, he never went to school, but he taught himself, and he'd been doing this since he was 4 years old, and he was just magnificent. But when I got older, I was like, I can't dance and sing like Sammy, but I can be entertaining, I can be funny. And I took that part, and I honed my skills, and it just became, you know, I guess, being educated and, you know, having research, which was encyclopedias. You had to read.
Back then it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's crazy, because, you know, you put the effort into learning about, you know, a craft, and that was my thing, to learn from everybody. And then they got into the Richard Pryors and the Red Foxes and the Dick Gregorys, and what they were saying and what they were doing and what's the difference in them and how they're delivering it. Even the Bill Cosbys, the Murphys, the Robin Harrises, you know, and I just had a chance to get to know a lot of those people. Personally.
And you know what? They're all gone. How does it
Except
make...
Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's still here.
Well, he is here.
Yeah, Bill Cosby.
He is here. How does that make you feel? Because you were able to learn from the greats. I mean, those were like the godfathers of comedy, and you were able to experience that.
That was magnificent. I mean, it was a blessing. I pray every day. I pray a prayer that I can get the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And it's been happening like that since I was a kid. So that's why I say it's not a gift. I think the gift you get is, you know, you live off the prayers of your relatives or your ancestors until you can grow enough to put yourself available for them.
Right.
And I think that's the gift. I think the gift is just knowing your talent and have the confidence of doing anything you say you could do that's positively, you know, enlightening to the world. And knowing and meeting all them, when I got to LA in '89, they were shooting Harlem Nights, which had everybody
in it.
I met everybody in the film, from Sammy Davis Jr., who was just he just walked past me, and this right before he died.
Oh my God.
He came on the set, because everybody was coming on the set. And I made sure Robin Harris took me in, befriended me, and he made sure that I was on the set just about every day, just getting the extra work, and I was just learning and watching. And then Red Fox was from St. Louis, the most down to earth, real funny, walking around, giving you knowledge. Still Red Fox, crazy and freaky and wild at his age.
Everything that we read about is true.
Everything you read about it was true. It's still there for real. And then Eddie Murphy, whose film it was. I you know, certain moments I could get with him. You know what I'm saying? I knew, you know, his brother, and you know, the late great Charlie Murphy. I kind of met all of them on that set. His Uncle Ray, and so we got to converse. Richard Pryor didn't meet at that particular time, but right after that, his ex-wife did a show, hired me, Flynn Pryor, and I got to know Richard Pryor. He was a host, and so I got to, you know, sit at the edge of his bed and kind of befriend him right before in his last days. I used to go sit Mondays and Tuesdays. I get back in town and go sit at the edge of his bed and get this big old mansion, you know, off of Moraga Drive, and he would just sit there, man, and you know, and I would just sit there, just, you know, in this big old house by himself and look at his Grammys, broken and dusty, and the big old house he couldn't get around to anymore, and just suck up knowledge about, you know, how to live in a state that he was in, but not to put myself in the line of fire that he was in. Because he took a lot of hits from people. I think as a martyr.
He did.
Taking, you know, and I just, you know, I appreciate him for that. And Dick Gregory, I had a lot of time spending with Dick Gregory. We were Libras. But just sucking up knowledge from the greats, man, that, you know, he really changed my style. He really made me care about what I was talking about on stage.
And you're fearless. Like, I've watched a lot of your stand-up, and it's like when you hit that stage, you're just fearless. You say whatever, however.
Depends on the audience.
But you know what? Back then, now you can, and I'm not knocking the hustle, now you can get on social media and you can say or do something crazy, and then overnight, you're, you know, overnight sensation, right? But back then, you guys had to face the crowd, which could be a very hard crowd, travel the clubs. There was no social media. It was like word of mouth, building state by state. Which way do you like? The old school way that you came up, not calling you O.
I'm OG. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm OG. I'm a legend in the game.
Or the new way. Do you feel like the way that you came up, it really built character? Because all of you guys are household names. And this has been going on, your career has spanned it for over 20 years. 30 years.
30 years. So,
and still here, still
here.
Yeah.
Still doing it. Still selling out, still doing brand new stuff, still staying relative. And I think just, you know, I'm saying you have to be very careful about your battles you're gonna fight and how you choose to relate them.
Right.
Because every message is not for everybody.
That is true. So let's go back to some of your films. First of all, you come from a class of, I'll just say all of you guys blew up. So Strictly Business, you have Halle Berry, Tommy Davidson, then you have House Party, Martin Lawrence, Robin Harris. Did you know that?
But you forgot my first one that got me, Taft Hartley, was a movie, man, Talking Dirty After Dark.
You did.
Yeah.
Did you know back then what your career would be when you started?
I saw that I wanted to be a star, and I saw that I can do what they do.
Right.
And I think I prepared myself in enough form where I came out to LA, I was educated enough, had enough talent to do what that man can do. You know, so I'm like, yeah, I mean, just give me the opportunity. And every time I you know, and not being cocky about it, arrogant, but I'm like, yo, they put their pants on the same way I do, and I got a little different flavor to that. And I've been practicing, give me a shot. I think I can do that funnier. And then you learn that, okay, well, this is a Jewish business, business-wise ran.
Right.
And mostly they control everything, you know what I'm saying? So, in this situation, they at least going to keep the avenues open for them.
Right.
And for their people, business, talent-wise, and then they'll sprinkle you about the place where they need you because they know it, they own it.
Right.
So it's like basically, unless you're hot or not, and then I've just seen the times change now to where, you not you stepping on a lot of toes, but you have to be clever in how you do your business and how you, attract your consumers, your fans, and how you control the next generation. Because it's easily done if you do it in a intelligent way, which a lot of people are doing. You give them names, but Byron Allen, and Tyler Perry's, the Oprah Winfrey's. I mean, we got people that do it, but it's like basically, that class has just been taught.
Right.
So what's the next generation gonna do? And what we've taken from their books to be, to be the next Oprahs, Pyres, Byron Allens, next people that, or names that, you don't even know of, because there's a lot of black millionaires and black women that are taking charge now that we don't know about, that we should be taught about and we should be aware of. And I think now, using the portals that we have, you should spend your energy doing that, enlightening black people on how to win instead of, fighting and chasing negative stuff you said because you're mad about somebody you don't even know.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So when did you realize, because I know you opened your own production company, when did you feel like, listen, I need to own everything that I touch moving forward?
I mean, I've been doing that before I got to LA.
Okay.
But trying to do that and develop them content and then getting that blueprint, even your own people won't take. And I've been with the biggest and the best in the business. You know what I'm saying? And they won't give you the blueprint.
Why is that?
People are intimidated of a smart black man, period. Smart black woman, period. You take like 10 jobs. I was told that you had a beautiful black, or should I say queen, African queen manager. She did Vivica Fox and ran Magic Johnson Company. She's a lawyer, went to Rice, all that stuff. And it was amazed until somebody told her, like, you guys are having trouble in Hollywood because you guys are scary. You guys are just too powerful. You're a smart, intelligent black man. You look good. You're fit. You're this. You guys are intimidating. You took like 9 jobs. Look, you're a lawyer. You're beautiful. You're blah blah blah. And you're a lawyer. And he was like, I'm gonna tell you. And he was just being frank with her. Like, yeah, look at you guys show up with all the, the T's crossed and the I's dotted, and then you speak well, and it's scary. I was like, are you serious? I mean, I thought, the attitude of leaving my home to come to anywhere else is to represent my tribe as the best. I want the best. Because once you figure them out,
right.
You know what I mean? It's like, yo, it's like, and that's what happened to me. I went to Hollywood and, you know what I'm saying, $300 in my pocket. Car I paid $350 for, you know what I'm saying? Slept on my brother's couch. You know what I'm saying? And then, I kicked in, but I looked up and I had 7 people on my payroll. None of them black, 6 of them Jews. And nothing against Jewish people.
Right.
But it was like, yo, my mother's still working, my neighborhood's still dying, and they all in my pocket with lawyers, booking fees, blah, blah, blah. And I came and I'm like, yo, I don't own nothing. Nothing. Renting. I own my shoes, some jewelry. I was like, yo. So I just, and most of them was just passing information. In order to get stuff done, you got to call me and ask me. And I'm like, well, if I got the best thing, well, I can answer that myself. And that's costing me 10%, 15%, 20%, 5%, 3%, and percentages that you don't even know is coming, and babble dabble that you don't even know they talking about, but they telling you it's good, and it's like, and they sending you, and everybody's hiring each other. It's like, yo, we all gonna stay in money with this. So it's like, I figured that out, and I was like, yeah, nah. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's like, they don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want my kids to go to private school too if I can, or kids in club. Man, you show me pictures of your family winning off my money. Because I don't know how to say this. I do know how to say that, but you just said you need to say that for me. I can say that to them. Get out the way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I seen the dude last night. He asked me, why I got to send him to you to talk? I told him my opinions. You just came back and said, yeah, you want to do it? So you get that much for doing paperwork? But you really send it to somebody else? I mean, it's all good, but I thought it was my lawyer. That's what I'm taking my lawyer for.
Right.
Oh, you passing it to my lawyer. Who you hired? Oh, well, I'm like, everybody just getting paper.
Just getting paid.
And it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And I was sitting in a meeting one time, and my agent was like, yeah, I got to call my business manager. I don't even know what's going on. And he's Jewish. And I said, you got me the business manager. You don't know what's going on. I was like, y'all don't even trust each other? So I just, you know, you open your eyes because you can stay working and be so busy. And that's how they try to keep you.
Okay.
You know, one of the last quotes John Witherspoon said was like, yeah, I talked about agents. It's got me working and working and working, because he used to be on the road just as much as me. And he was way before me. And if I'm on the road 52 weeks in a year, it's 40 weeks. At the minimum, I'm on the road for the last 30 years. That's a lot for him.
That's a lot. How do you find balance with family and work?
Well, my career was before my family.
Okay.
So, my career is older than my son is 26. You know what I'm saying? I'm just my 31st year of my career. My wife, we've been married 19 years. 17-year-old son, 10-year-old daughter. So I think Joe Torry wins when he know what the fuck he's doing. So you guys got in the car late, better pay attention. Cause I was a star. I was winning
for a very long time. So
well, I still am, but I'm saying now that I don't be as accessible, because you want to show, your family how to be a family.
I wanted to ask you about this. So you were the host for a Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
And Martin did his thing, but you came and you did your thing, and it was totally different, and everyone loved it. Was there ever any pressure about, okay, I'm stepping up to the plate and I'm going to do it my way, because everybody loved you?
No. Well, I mean, a little story about that,
Love stories. Let me lead in.
Robin Harris is supposed to be the first host of Def Comedy Jam.
Okay.
He died. Martin wasn't the real host. Martin liked to come in and do his stuff, but back then they had to go with who had the hottest name.
Okay.
And my name wasn't that hot yet. Martin had, he was a house party and a couple of things. He was rolling, I think, on a bunch of things, whatever it was, but he was perfect at the time. Because Tommy Davidson was busy, Jamie didn't have a name yet, all the big stars that can handle that, should I say, genre, which is this new black comedy experience. Martin was perfect for it.
Right.
Because he was a veteran. And me coming out there at first, I had the confidence, but what made me so comfortable was I always had a lot of jokes and I never was afraid of any audience. So I did all the warm-ups for Martin, for Def Jam. Nobody wanted to do that. So I was there doing all the warm-ups, and he was doing 5 shows a day. I would do all the warm-ups, read the stuff, they collected my stuff, so I was working my jokes out and doing the stuff. So the New York audience loved me, knew me, and then I helped put certain people on Def Comedy Jam. You know what I'm saying? And I did the tour. I did the whole tour. Martin never came for the tour. So I took it in the face when they was like, where Martin at? Where are you? Where Martin? Who is you? With the cowboy and the boots. And by the end of the night, they loved me. So by the time, he didn't do it anymore, it was kind of like, who else is going to be the host?
Right.
Who else can do this? Nobody else could handle it. And nationally, were they building their career at that time? I think I had Poetic Justice under my belt and a couple Strictly Business and some things. So it was like you had to build up, like now, some likes and some they called it bankable business, so people can put the money behind it. Time I was bankable for them to say move into the role, and then confidence, and then you had to have material. You had to understand that, and nobody had material like me, which I still do. Nobody never had. I got material out the yang yang, so I make it up like that. So it's like, that was my thing. So it's like, this is what I do.
Right.
But when Robin Harris died, I mean, that was, I think that was harder than anything, because I took over and rebuilt the whole experience that wasn't there anymore. When he died, he went from 300 plus a night to like 15 people. And myself, along with, my students, Jamie Foxx, the late great Yvette Wilson, Buddy Lewis. Yeah, we helped rebuild the Comedy Act Theater to get it to the point where they saw us and they respected us. And they opened up one in Atlanta, and still comedians from Chris Tucker's and Faison Loves and all the names you know today have come through that venue, and made it synonymous for people to still watch black comedy as they do today.
Right. Do people still come up to you and call you Chicago?
All the time, every day.
All the time. So how did you feel about that character in Poetic Justice?
I mean, it was cool. I didn't read the part where my thing didn't work. I was
That
like,
part.
oh, that was that me? I was like, do I get another scene where it do work?
Right. Can I come back from that?
You know what I'm saying? Do I get to see do work? I mean,
Right.
what was that about?
Right.
But I didn't care. It was my learning experience. My real first acting job. I mean, as far as being around people that like this Janet, Tupac, and Regina, they all been acting since they were like 12.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was only comedian. So basically, me, loaning them most of the jokes,
Right.
and helping them be comfortable, and then not make, because that's what John saw my gift is, adding in a dark moment to add some humor. And you saw me, and in most films I do drama in. People get me because they want me to add humor in it, but still keep it dramatic.
Right.
And still keep it not laughy, and it's like keep it real, but it's like, and then being around me, it's like you're naturally funny. Just do that. Just do what you do and talk and
Right.
say the lines. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like I don't know.
So I just want to ask you, what was the experience like working with Tupac?
Depends on what day it was.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he was, he turned 21 at the time, so basically, during the film, he was 20. So you gotta figure 20-year-old kid turned in the 90s, early 90s, watching all this unfold.
Right.
Rap was getting there,
It was
getting
getting there,
and then black comedy, that just helped. So they both were on a rise to give us, a new platform, and he was just too smart for the people he was working with, way before his time, too talented. And he couldn't be kept in a box. I mean, he wanted to be directing and executive producing and doing stuff, and he wanted to really be acting. Done with that rap shit.
Right.
That was cool, but it was like,
Right.
it was like, yo, this, what audience am I talking to? Because I'm not gonna talk that, what they talking now. Getting you high and raping you and fentanyl, and he wasn't going there. He was dropping poetry. That's why most of his stuff is in, they teach a class at in UCLA
Right.
and certain different colleges. The poetry of Tupac Shakur.
So who in the younger generation of comedians do you kind of look at and like their style?
I mean, ones who, right now, DC Young Fly is pretty cool.
Okay.
Because he's a student in the game. He wants to learn. Talented. He got a lot of talent. Music. They understand the moment. He don't mind being sacrificial, which is, how some comedians, they want to win the moment. You know what I'm saying? And he listens. You know what I'm saying? So as a young person with him, and as this other young lady named Jasmine, I forgot her last name, Jasmine. She's out of Cleveland. She's out in LA now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on the rise. Very funny, very witty, very they use the platform now. This platform, they use what they have.
Right.
And I had to use what I had. You know what I'm saying? So, and they use it well. So basically, them two, because they kind of get it all together. They don't abuse it. They give respect to the elders, where they come from, and they work on their craft. They just don't take this new social networking stuff for granted. They really set up and do stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's and you got a couple of people that do that. I mean, some influencers, they ain't really comedians, but like my frat brother, Big Jaw, Spice Adams. You know what I'm saying? One of my, they do all the skits and stuff like that. So some of them that are really not comedians, but I enjoy what they do as far as adding to the platform. Beautiful.
So what has kept you grounded? Because 2020, over 30 years, you're still here, still booked and busy. How have you not, I mean, you hear people come and go, you hear about people that have bad attitudes and things like that, but you are still present. What's the secret?
I mean, the secret is to act like you've never been there. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I mean, act like you've been there, but I mean, still stay hungry. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't fed. There's moments where you can pop champagne, but I think that, once you feel like, you know it all and done it all, you quit living. So I have a different reason to get up every day because I got a different thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And I promise God that, hey, as long as you give me strength to, you know, to be me, then I'll bless people. So waking up every day it's like, you know, you sign a contract. I woke you up, bless you, you do your stuff. Now, you know, return the favor. And that's, you know, that's how I live. So it's like basically, you know, money and all that stuff. Money's made to be spent, one hand to the other. It's not hold it, save it, do what they tell you to do with it, but it's, you know, you're supposed to be blessed. It ain't your money no way.
Okay.
It's God's money. It's the world's money.
It's the world's money. So let's talk about giving back the Love Project.
Right.
So what made you decide to start that?
That's just it. Give back to love. I promise God that if He made me famous or helped me get to my goal, I would help somebody else. You know, for my boy Carl, you know, I'd leave the window open and the ladder down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You leave the door open or the ladder down. I'm let somebody else up and in. You know what I'm saying? And that's just basically it. We, see, black people, we got 400 years of, you know, of people stopping us. So why would I be a hindrance or some type of obstacle in the way of that? That's, you know, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to pay it forward. I heard this lady say this today. She said, your service that you do every day, like just your free service, just giving out to the word, I mean the world, and you know, and you just helping somebody vote, and just doing something nice. That's the rent you pay to God for waking your ass up. So be nice and go do something nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's your rent. You ain't gotta wake up.
Yeah.
With that attitude.
Right. I think it's amazing, especially what you do, what you have done, because you have people that come see you or watch your movies that might have had a bad day or lost their job, but just seeing you on stage, you've changed the whole dynamics of how they feel, which I still feel like it's a gift. Everybody can't do it, you know.
I try to be the hero for everybody in the audience, if I can relate. Say it, because you can't say it or you won't say it.
Right.
Or let you know that everybody's feeling the same thing you're feeling. You know, but now you probably feeling it now, and you probably felt it 10 years ago, but everybody's same thing is going to organically go through the same shit at some point in life you keep living. But, you know, what level is that in the audience, from white to black to young to old to whatever you think in your mind? I mean, that's on you. But everybody in the audience always got three things in common.
Tell us.
Nobody want to be sick. Nobody want to be broke.
Nope.
Nobody want to go to jail.
Right.
There's always a conversation.
Period.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody want a good time. You know what I'm saying? So you stick to the things that are universal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Don't piss you off. You know, whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, and you know, I stay relative to what everybody's going through. You're going to get old. You know what I'm saying? At whatever given point in life, you're going to get, you know what I'm saying, to a point where you're going to feel exactly what somebody else is feeling. And that's the whole joke in the room. Because I'm laughing at stuff now that I was like, I ain't get that. But I'm like, oh, now my knee hurt. Now I'm old. No, that's what they was talking about.
Well, look, you don't look it.
Right, well, I feel it.
Yeah. So let's talk about your production company. What are some of your upcoming projects?
My production company, Show Me Media. A lot of projects coming up. Noodles.
Okay.
Which is one of the hometown greats here in Little Rock. JJ is in, my man is in. We got
It was awesome. Hey.
Yeah. We got This Is 2020. What the fuck? That's my comedy club.
Can you say that again?
This is 2020. What the fuck? That's my tour going out, but
Okay.
that's also a comedy special show I shot
Okay.
with some of the greatest comedians on them at a round table, just talking all the smack. Tiffany Haddish, Joe Coy, Russell Peters, Judge Entertainer, Bill Bellamy, DL, my brother, Buddy Lewis. You know, I mean, I keep going on. Lunel, but Corey Holcomb. But that's one thing I've been working on to put them all together.
Okay.
It's like a Black Cheers.
Okay.
The TV show Cheers. It's called Leon's. So I shot that up in Oakland. So that's getting ready to come out. And when it start, and then my tour, Joe Torry, What the Fuck, the special is coming out. But you know, that's not coming out this year. Comic View Live. That's that's something like a new thing. I'm finding out new up and coming comedians from Texas to all around America and putting them on TV. So it's called Comic View Live, not Comic View. Comic View Live. Okay. And I'm taping the show, a couple weeks in Texas. So look for those things.
Okay.
Right off the top.
Right off the top. How do we find you on social media?
Oh, at Joe Torry, the one with the blue check.
Okay.
Joetorry.
Okay.
You know, YouTube, once I need to start paying more attention to. You know, it's just Joe Torry. And Facebook, Joe Torry. Twitter, Joe Torry with the one behind it, Joe Torry 1.
Awesome.
LinkedIn, Joe Torry.
Okay.
That's all I do.
Gotcha.
I don't do all the other stuff.
Well, it has been an honor to be able to sit across and talk to you. Thank you for everything that you have contributed to this culture. You're still here, 30 plus years in the game, so it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Mr. Joe Torry, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I knew he was going to throw up the hook. I was waiting for it.